Hello everyone, thank you very much for view this video. And so now we will discuss about chapter number 4 in managerial economics. Okay, the theory of individual behavior. So it will explain 4 basic properties of consumers' preference, ordering, and their ramification for consumers in different curves, and it's illustrate how changes in prices and income impact on an individual's opportunities. And this chapter will illustrate consumers equilibrium choice and how it changes in response to changes in prices and income. Okay. And we will learn the separate the impact of a price change into substitution and income effect, and show how to derive an individual's demand curve from indifference curve analysis and market demand from a group of individual demands. Okay. And this chapter will illustrate how buy one get one free deals and gift certificates impact consumer purchase decisions. And last but not least of this chapter, we will see the application, the income, apply the income leisure choice framework to illustrate the opportunities, incentive, and choices of workers and managers. Okay. So this chapter actually develop tools that help a manager understand the behavior of individuals, such as consumers and workers, and the impact of alternative incentive on their decision. So this is not as simple as you might think. Human beings are use a very complicated thought process to make decision, and human brain is capable of processing vast quantities of information. So at this very moment, your heart is pumping blood throughout your body, your lungs are providing oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide, and your eyes are scanning this page while your brain processes the information on it. So the human brain can do what even supercomputers and sophisticated artificial intelligence technology are incapable of doing. So despite the complexities of human thoughts process, a manager needs a model that explains how individual behave in the marketplace and in the work environment. Of course, attempt to model individual behavior cannot capture the full range of real-world behavior. Life would be simpler for manager or firm if the behavior of individual were not so complicated. On the other hand, the reward for being a manager of a firm would be much lower. So if you achieve an understanding of individual behavior, you will gain a marketable skill that will help you succeed in the business world. So our model of behavior will necessarily be an abstraction of the way individuals really make decisions. So we must begin with a simple model that focuses on essential instead of dwelling on behavior features that would do little to enhance our understanding. So keep this thought in mind as we begin our study of an economic model of consumer behavior. So based on our view of this slide, you can see we would like to study about the consumer behavior based on indifferent curve analysis. Okay, consumer preference ordering, and some constraints, the budget constraint, changes in income and changes in prices. Okay, consumer equilibrium, okay, indifferent curve analysis, and demand curve based on individual demand and market demand. Okay. Now that you recognize that any theory about individual behavior must be an abstraction of reality, so we may begin to develop a model to help us understand how consumer will respond to the alternative choices that confront them. So a consumer is an individual who purchases goods and services from firms for the purpose of consumption. So as a manager of firm, you are interested not only in who consume the good but in who purchases it. So a 6 months old baby consume goods, but it is not responsible for purchase decision. If you are employed by a manufacturer of baby food, it is the parents' behavior you must understand, not the babies. So in characterizing consumer behavior, there are two important but distinct factors to consider. Okay, first one is consumer opportunities. Okay, consumer opportunities, and then consumer preferences. Okay, consumer preferences. So consumer opportunities represents the possible goods and service consumer can afford to consume, and consumer preferences determine which of the good will be consumed. Okay, okay, as the possible goods first. Okay, and then this one is actually a wish of the good will be consumed, right? So the distinction is very important. Okay, while I can afford and thus have the opportunity to consume, so 1 pound of beef liver each week, my preferences are such that I would be unlikely be choose to consume beef liver. So I would be unlikely to choose to consume beef liver at all. So keeping this distinction in mind, let us begin by modeling consumer preference. So in today's global economy, literally millions of goods are offered for sale. So however, to focus on the essential aspect of individual behavior and to keep things manageable, we will assume that only two goods exist in the economy. So this assumption is made purely to simplify our analysis. All of the conclusion that we draw from these two good setting remain valid when there are many goods. So we will let X represent the quantity of one good and Y the quantity of the other good. So by using this notation to represent the two goods, we have a very general model in the sense that X and Y can be any goods rather than restricted to say beef and pork. Okay, so assume a consumer is able to order his or her preferences for alternative bundles or combination of goods from best to worst. So we will let this symbol. Okay, we will let this symbol denote this ordering and write A. Okay, so denotes to B. Okay, whenever the consumer whenever the consumer prefer bundle A to B. Okay, so that means A, consumer prefer bundle A to B. So if the consumer views, okay, so if the consumer views the two bundle as equally satisfying, we will say she or he is indifferent between bundle A and B. So and we use this. Okay, this is indifferent. Okay, indifferent. Okay, so that's we use a shorthand notation. Okay, so if A is preferred than B, then if given a choice between bundle A and bundle B, the consumer will choose bundle A. Okay, so if A equally satisfying B, so the consumer given a choice between bundle A and bundle B, so we will not care which bundle he or she gets. This the preference ordering is assumed to satisfy 4 basic properties: completeness, more is better, okay, more is better, diminishing marginal rate, or substitution and transitivity. Okay, so we assume this 4. Okay, sorry. Okay, completeness, more is better. So consumer preference ordering properties will be completeness, more is better, and diminishing marginal rate of substitution and transitivity. Okay, this for property, we can see that's completeness for any two bundles, say A and B. Either A is preferred, better than more satisfying than B, or B more satisfying than A, or A equally satisfying B. So by assuming that preferences are complete, we assume the consumer is capable of expressing a preference for or indifferent among all bundles. So if preferences were not complete, there might be cases where a consumer would claim not to know whether he or she preferred bundle A to B, preferred bundle B to A, or was the indifference between two bundles. So if the consumer cannot express her or his own preference for or indifferent among goods, the manager can hardly predict that's individual consumption pattern with reasonable accuracy. And as for property, more is better. So if a bundle A, so this is the completeness. Okay, yeah. And then for more is better. Okay, for more is better, if bundle A has at least as much of every good as bundle B, and more of some good, bundle A is preferred to bundle B. If more is better, the consumer views the product under consideration as goods instead of bad. So and then the property of before, diminishing marginal rate, substitution. Okay, so as a consumer obtain more of good X, the amount of good Y he or she is willing to give up to obtain another unit of good X decreases. That's the concept of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. That means consumer obtain more of good X, the amount of good Y he or she is willing to give up to obtain another unit of good X decreases. So this assumption implies that indifferent curves are convex from the origin. So and then that's transitivity is for any three bundle. Okay, for any three bundle A, B, and C. That means we have a three bundle. If A is more satisfying than B more satisfying than C, then A more satisfying than C. So similarly, if A equally satisfying with B, and B equally satisfying than C, and then A equally satisfying than to C, and this, so this the assumption of a transitive preferences together with the more is better assumption, so implies that indifferent curve do not intersect one another. Okay. So it also eliminates the possibility that the consumer is caught in a perpetual cycle in which he or she never makes a choice. Okay. That's a completeness, preference, more is better. Okay. Marginal rate of substitute. Okay. Okay, that's what we discuss about preferences. So the preference ordering is assumed to satisfy four basic properties. The completeness, more is better, and diminishing or diminishing MRS, marginal rate of substitution, and transitivity. Okay. So in making a decision, individual face constraint. In making decision, individual face constraint. There are legal constraint, time constraint, physical constraint, and of course a budget constraint. Okay. So to maintain our focus on essential of managerial economics, without delving into issues beyond the scope of this course, we will examine the role prices and income play in constraining consumer behavior. So first, we will discuss about the budget constraint. About the budget constraint. So simply stated, the budget constraint restrict consumer behavior by forcing the consumer to select a bundle of goods that is affordable. Okay. So if a consumer has only $30 in his or her pocket when reaching the checkout line in the supermarket, the total value of the good that consumer present to the cashier cannot exceed $30. So to demonstrate how the presence of budget constraint restrict the consumer's choice, we need some additional shorthand notation. Okay, let M represent the consumer's income. Okay. Let's see M as a consumer income here. Okay, and then which can be any amount. By using M instead of a particular value of income, we gain generality in that the theory is valid for a consumer with any income level. So we will let a px and py represent the prices of x and y respectively. So given this notation, the opportunity set, also called the budget set, may be expressed mathematically as what you can see from here, px, okay, plus py, okay, must lower or same with or equal with m. Okay, that's opportunity set, the set of consumption bundle that are affordable. So in word, the budget set define the combination of goods x and y that are affordable for the consumer. So the consumer's expenditure on good x plus her or his expenditure on good y do not exceed the consumer's income. Not that if the consumer spend his or her entire income on the two good, this equation hold with equality. So this relation is called the budget line. It's a budget line. So the bundle of goods, what you can see from here. Okay, that's a budget line. Okay. So in other words, the budget line defines all the combination of goods x and y that exactly exhausts the consumer income. So it is useful to manipulate the equation for the budget line to obtain an alternative expression for the budget constraint in slope-intercept form. So if we multiply both sides of the budget lines by let me add one slide here, okay, to make it more clear about the budget line. Okay, yes, this one. Okay, so it is useful to manipulate the equation for the budget line to obtain an alternative expression for the budget constraint in slope-intercept form. So if we multiply both sides of the budget line by 1 by py, so we get this kind of solving for y yield. Okay, that means px by py times x plus y equal to m by py. So note that y is a linear function of x with a vertical intercept of m by py, and the slope of and the slope by minus px by py. So the consumer budget constraint is so it's not so variable here. We'll add it. Okay, just a minute. I want to show you the budget set figure. Okay. So the consumer constraint in graph, okay, constraint is graph in this figure. So the shaded area represent the consumer budget set. That's the shaded area, okay, represent the consumer budget set. Okay, this shaded area, okay, or opportunity set. So in particular, any combination of goods X and Y within the shaded area, such as a point G, for example. So any area here, okay, we just put example in point G here, okay, represent an affordable combination of X and Y. So any point above the shaded area, such as a point H, this here, okay, such as a point H, okay, so that means represent a bundle of good that is unaffordable. So this upper boundary of the budget set in figure is the budget line. Okay, if a consumer spend her or his entire income on good X, and the expenditure on good X would exactly equal the consumer income. So this okay, so we will get this kind of equation if we if a consumer, he or she, okay, spend, okay, all of the income on good X. Okay, all right. So by manipulating this equation, we see the maximum affordable quantity of good X consumed as, okay, like this. Okay. So X equal to M by Px. So, okay, that's we manipulate this equation and just change from one side to another side. Okay, X equal to M by Px. So this is why the horizontal intercept by budget line is M by MP. Okay, by Px. That's why. Okay, call it horizontal budget. Okay, that this is why the horizontal intercept of budget line is M by Px. Okay, so similarly, if the consumer spend his or her entire income on a good Y, okay, so it can be P Y equal to M, or Y equal to M by P Y. So the slope of budget line is given by, okay, minus P X by P Y. So and represent the market rate of substitution. That's represent the market rate of substitution. Okay, the slope of the budget line. Okay, okay, that's the represent the market rate of substitution between goods X and Y. So to obtain okay, to obtain the understanding, a better understanding of market rate of substitution between goods X and Y. Okay, we can see the budget line here. Okay, this is what you can see the budget line, okay, from this figure. Okay, so consider that figure represent a budget line for consumer who has, let's say, $10 in income and faces a price of $1 for good X and a price of $2 for good Y. So if we substitute this value of Px and Py and M into the formula for the budget line, so we observe that the vertical intercept of budget line, that means the maximum amount of good Y that is affordable, is M by Py. So M by Py, so equal to okay, let me put it in this slide. Okay, M by Py mean equal to 10 by 2. Okay, 10 by 2 equal to 5. So the horizontal intercept is M by Px equal to 10 by 1. That means equal to 10, and represent the maximum amount of good X that can be purchased. So the slope of budget line, okay, and the slope of budget line can be negative Px by Py. Okay, so the consumer opportunity set depend on market price and the consumer income. Okay, changes in price and changes in income. Okay, the consumer opportunity set depend on market price and consumers income. As these parameters change, so will the consumer opportunities. So let us now examine the effect on the opportunity set of changes in income by assuming prices remain constant. Okay, so in this situation, you can see the increase lead to parallel outward shift, okay, in the budget line. So M once, and then bigger than M0, okay, and then decrease lead to a parallel downward, okay, shift. That means income M2, okay, just like quite similar with demand shift, okay. But in this situation, so in changes in income will increase or decrease the budget line, okay. And also changes in price, when we change the price, okay. So a decrease in the price of good X rotate the budget line counter clockwise, P, okay. X is bigger than Px1, yeah. Px0 bigger than Px1. So an increase rotate the budget line clockwise, okay. So the objective of the consumer is to choose the consumption bundle that maximize his or her utility or satisfaction. So if there was no scarcity, the more is better property would imply that the consumer would want to consume bundle that contains infinite amounts of goods. However, one implication of scarcity is that the consumer must select a bundle that lies inside the budget set. So that is an affordable bundle. So let us combine our theory of consumer preference with our analysis of constraint to see how the consumer goes about selecting the best affordable bundle. So let's see, just consider a bundle such as A in this figure, okay. So this combination, okay. So this graph not really complete, okay. Let's say okay, consider the bundle, the budget line, the budget line of 1, okay, sorry, not A, okay. So this combination of good X and Y lies on the bundle line. So the cost of bundle A completely exhausts the consumer income. So given the income and prices corresponding to the budget line, okay. So clearly, if the consumer consume bundle B instead of bundle A, she or he would be better off, since the indifference curve between B lies above the one through A, okay. So moreover, bundle B lies on the budget line and thus is affordable, okay. I mean the bundle line 2 here, or B, this is like bundle line A, 1, it is bundle line C or 3, okay. So an important property of consumer equilibrium is that at the equilibrium consumption bundle, the slope of indifferent curve is equal to the slope of the budget line, okay. So we hope that we can guess, okay, this point, the consumer equilibrium, okay. So the slope of the indifferent curve equals the budget line, okay. So a change in the price of good will lead to a change in the equilibrium consumption bundle. Okay, so to see this, recall that a reduction in the price of good X leads to the counterclockwise rotation of the budget line. So thus, if the consumer initially is at equilibrium of point okay, let's say in the point A here, okay, okay, from the graph you can see, okay, when the price of good X fall to P1X, his or her opportunity set expand. So given this new opportunity set, the consumer can achieve a higher level of satisfaction. So this is illustrated as a movement to the new equilibrium point B in this figure. Okay, so you can see, okay, when the price of good X fall, okay, and the consumption of Y rises, so then X and Y are complementary good. Okay, as a substitute and complementary good concept that can change. Okay, substitutes goods and increase or decrease in price good X lead to an increase or decrease in the consumption of good Y. So this very simple common example like Coke and Pepsi, and then complementary goods. Okay, so that's complementary or supplementary goods. Okay, can change between point A to point B. Okay, and again, I think we have discussed in the previous lecture about the meaning of normal goods and inferior goods. Okay, income changes and consumer equilibrium. Okay, so we have been discussed in the previous lecture or previous chapter. Okay, the change in income also will lead to a change in the consumption pattern of consumer. Okay, so the reason is that changes in income either expand or contract the consumer's budget constraint, and the consumer therefore find it's optimal to choose a new equilibrium bundle. Okay, for normal goods, good X is a normal good if an increase, okay, in income leads to an increase in its consumption. Okay, this is an example for normal good. Alright, income increase, for example, normal good maybe hotels sale, hotel or holiday package sale. That's what we can call as a normal goods. When the income increase, okay, maybe holiday package will increase, okay, their sale. Inferior goods, okay, good X is an inferior good if an increase in income leads to decrease in its consumption. Okay, okay, you can see it can change normal good, okay, from point A to point B. Okay, an increase in income increase the consumption of normal good. Okay, okay, decomposing the income and substitution effect. So initially bundle A is consumed. Okay, initially bundle A is consumed. A decrease in the price of good X expand the consumer's opportunity set. Okay, so the substitution effect, okay, causes the consumer to move from bundle A to B. Okay, so the equilibrium change from A to B. Okay, so a higher real income allows the consumer to achieve a higher indifferent curve. So the movement from bundle B to C represent the income effect. So that's movement from B to C, okay, represent the income effect. So i.e., okay, the new equilibrium is achieved at the point of C, okay. Okay, this is very classical concept, okay, of buy one get one free. So application of indifferent curve analysis. Under application of indifference curve analysis, we will discuss about choices of consumer from buy one get one free. Okay, all right. So very popular sales technique at pizza's restaurant is to offer buy one large pizza get one large pizza free, okay, and limit one free pizza per customer. So it is tempting to conclude that it is simply a 50% reduction in the pizza price. So that's the budget line rotation as it does for any price decrease. This conclusion is invalid, however. So a price reduction decreases the price of each unit purchased. So the buy one get one pizza deal reduces only the price of the second unit purchase. In fact, it reduced the price of the second large pizza to 0. So the offer does not change the price of unit below 1 pizza and above 2 pizza. So the buy one get one free marketing scheme is quite easy to analyze in our framework. Okay, you can see from here. Yeah, point A, bundle, okay, B, okay, C, D, E. Okay, so bundle A, B, C, D, E. Okay, we can focus on this. Okay, so let's say in this figure, a consumer initially faces a budget line connecting point A and B, connecting point A and B, and is in equilibrium at point C. Okay, all right, the point C, and point C represent one half of large pizza, say a small pizza. Okay, so the consumer decide it is best to buy a small pizza instead of a large pizza. So point D represent point at which she buys one large pizza, but as we can see, the consumer prefers bundle C to bundle D since it lies on higher the indifferent curve. So when the consumer is offered the buy one get one free deal, her budget line become AD, A, D, E, and F. Okay, A, D, E, and F. Okay, you can see, okay, the budget line will, okay, bend to D to E and E to F. Okay, A, D, E, F. So the reason is as follow. If she buys less than one large pizza, she gets no deal, and her budget line to the left of one pizza remain as it was, namely AD. Okay, but if she buys one large pizza, she gets a second one free. So in this instance, the budget line become DEF as soon as she buys one pizza. So in another word, the price of pizza is 0 for unit between 1 and 2 large pizza. So this implies that the budget line for pizza is horizontal between 1 and 2 unit. Recall the slope of budget line is negative Px by Py, and for this unit Px is 0. So if the consumer want to consume more than 2 large pizza, she must buy them regular prices. So but not that if she spend all of her income on pizza, she could buy one more than she could before, since one of the pizza is free. So thus for pizza is excess of 2 unit. So the budget constraint is the line connecting between E and F. After the deal is offered, the opportunity set increases. In fact, bundle E is now an affordable bundle. Moreover, it is clear that bundle E is preferred to bundle C. Okay? And the consumer optimal choice is to consume bundle E. Okay? An individual demand curve. Okay, this is a individual demand curve is derived from each one equilibrium point found on the in different curve as the price of good egg is vary. Okay. Okay, the demand curve is the horizontal summation of individual demand curve. So it indicate the total quantity. So you can see is total up from individual demand curve to market demand curve. So it indicate the total quantity all consumer would purchase at each price point. Okay. Well, you can see the slope so different, bit different. Okay. So in conclusion, in different curve properties reveal information about consumer preferences between bundle of goods. Based on the completeness, more is better, diminishing marginal rate of substitution and transitivity. Okay, in different curve along with price changes determine individual demand curve, and demand curve is the horizontal summation. Okay, you can see horizontal summation. Okay, of individual demand. Okay, so that's all. Thank you very much for give your attention of this chapter. Anyway, after we went through this chapter, we can see a few concepts, especially in equilibrium, consumer adjust their purchasing behavior so that the ratio of prices they pay just equal their marginal rate of substitution. Okay, so in conclusion, remember that the model of individual behavior developed in this chapter are basic tool for analyze the behavior of your consumer and employees. So by taking time, the time to become familiar with the model and working through the demonstration, okay, by end of this chapter problem, you will be better equipped to make a decision that will maximize the value of your firm. Okay, so that's all. Thank you very much and have a nice day.